Jasmine with a firm, powerful voice. "Tina, you can say whatever you want about me, but I will not let those words define me. Chadesa needs a strong leader, and I am that leader. You cannot change me. I will prove that I am not just a princess, but the one this kingdom needs." In a bustling neighborhood in Atlanta, Georgia, a vibrant city full of color and the lively atmosphere of the African American community, there is a young girl named Jasmine Cole, just 15 years old, living in a modest home with her mother, Ms. Taylor. Surrounded by streets filled with laughter and music, Jasmine feels like a lonely stone lost in the crowd. She always feels out of place, as if she is an outsider in a world she cannot belong to. Although she lives in Atlanta, a large city with a thriving African American community, Jasmine still feels like an outsider. Her naturally curly hair, pearlescent brown skin, and large, thoughtful eyes do nothing to help her fit in with the other students. In fact, they only make her feel more isolated among her peers. Each day at school is a challenge for her, as the gazes of her classmates make her feel more embarrassed and distant. Why is a girl like her even here? These are the whispers Jasmine hears from every corner of the classroom. Those words cut into her tender heart, making her feel like she doesn't deserve to be there. Although she wasn't welcomed, Jasmine held on to a vague determination that she had to continue going to school, even if it meant enduring the prying eyes, cruel jokes, and the rejection from her classmates. She chose silence, a path that seemed the safest, avoiding everyone and trying not to let anyone notice the pain inside her. Every step she took felt like a battle with herself, a battle to maintain her self-esteem in a world where she felt she could never find her place. However, things didn't get any easier. The only girl in class who could invade Jasmine's space was Tina Simmons, a standout girl who was loved by everyone. Tina, along with her group of friends, was always merciless in bullying Jasmine. Every time they passed by, Tina and her friends would target Jasmine, mocking her with unpleasant remarks. "Look at her. Does anyone else see a stray sheep?" Their laughter echoed in the space, and Jasmine could only lower her head, too afraid to respond. Jasmine could only look at her classmates around her, those who always made her feel not good enough. A world where she couldn't find any support. No matter how hard she tried, she was just an outsider, a ghost no one noticed. But Jasmine never gave up. Every morning when she woke up, she put on her backpack, sighed, and continued walking to school. Not because she didn't feel the pain, but because she never knew how to give up. But could she keep enduring this forever? One bright morning, Jasmine walked into Woodlawn High School in Atlanta, a school for the wealthy, her heart pounding in her chest. But when she saw Tina and Marcus Johnson standing near the classroom door, all those feelings faded away. Marcus, a handsome guy with an unbelievable amount of confidence, was the one who made Jasmine's heart race every time she caught a glimpse of him. But what hurt Jasmine even more was that Marcus was Tina's boyfriend, the most popular girl in school. And even more painful was that Marcus had never known about Jasmine's secret feelings. She kept them hidden, afraid that if she ever revealed them, everything would just become more awkward. Tina and Marcus, the perfect couple in everyone's eyes, were the leaders of the school's social scene, always together, always the center of attention. And as usual, Tina gave Jasmine a smug smile as she walked by, never bothering to notice her. Jasmine felt like the whole world shrank around her, an indescribable sense of emptiness enveloping her. Suddenly, questions flooded her mind. Why can't I be like them? That day, the school held a debate competition, and Jasmine, though always feeling like the weak one in class, decided to sign up. She told herself that if she could overcome this fear, maybe everything would be different. Then, when the competition began, Marcus stepped up to the podium, confident and standing out as always, making the entire class burst into laughter every time he presented a witty and sharp point. He made everyone forget about the tension, and Jasmine, though filled with admiration inside, could only stand quietly in the back, her anxiety rising like a giant wave. When it was her turn, Jasmine's hands and legs started to tremble, her mouth went dry. Despite having prepared thoroughly, even rehearsing each sentence over and over when the eyes of the whole class turned toward her, She felt like she was standing in the middle of a strange crowd, unable to breathe. Jasmine took a deep breath, trying to compose herself, but everything seemed to fall apart the moment she opened her mouth. Her words got caught in her throat, unable to come out as she intended. Then, a voice from somewhere echoed, "Does she really think she can debate with Marcus?" The laughter echoed through the classroom, like knives stabbing into Jasmine's self-esteem. Each laugh was a heavy punch to her heart. The mocking glances, the smirks of disdain, all seemed to strip away what little pride she had left. Jasmine could not bear it any longer. She quickly stepped down from the podium, her hands shaking as she tried to hold back the tears that threatened to fall. Everyone continued to mock her, no one caring about the pain tearing at her heart. Her legs felt like they could no longer support her, and she rushed out of the classroom, each step heavy and weary. Stepping out of the classroom, Jasmine couldn't bring herself to lift her head and look at anyone. She felt as though the entire world had turned its back on her, and she was the only one left in the dark. Why can't I be like everyone else? That question echoed in her mind, like a painful loop that wouldn't end. Why could everyone else connect so easily while she always felt like an outsider? In that moment, Jasmine felt like she was standing alone in a cold, empty room, everything around her fading into a blur. She wanted to give up, to run away from it all, but she knew she couldn't. She went home, where only her mother was there to see her, to love and encourage her, no matter who she was. But what Jasmine couldn't see was the strength within her. Every tear she shed, every time she fell, was part of the journey she had to go through. No matter how much others ridiculed her, no matter how the pain overwhelmed her heart, Jasmine could still rise, step by step. One day she would find the strength to not only make people notice her, but also to make herself proud. One day, as Jasmine was on her way home, her heart suddenly tightened when she heard her mother calling from behind. "Jasmine, stop for a moment. I have something important to tell you." She turned around and saw Ms. Taylor, her mother, with a serious but worried expression. Jasmine had no idea that what her mother was about to say would change her life forever. "Sweetheart, your grandmother, Queen Gloria, is in Washington, D.C. and wants to meet you." Jasmine felt like everything around her came to a halt. Grandmother? Why would she want to meet me? She hasn't contacted me in all these years. Jasmine wondered in her head. Thoughts swirled around like a whirlwind in her mind. Her heart was confused, not understanding what was happening. Why does she want to meet me now? Noticing the surprise and concern in her daughter's eyes, Miss Taylor gently continued, but her voice was filled with seriousness. "Sweetheart, your grandmother is a very important person. She's not like others. She is the queen of a famous kingdom, and she wants to meet you for a very special reason." Jasmine couldn't believe her ears. "Queen?" she murmured to herself, her voice filled with confusion. "How could this be? Mum, I don't understand. How is she a queen?" A fog of thoughts clouded her mind, as everything she had ever known about her family had nothing to do with a kingdom or a throne. Why has Mum never mentioned this? But Ms. Taylor could no longer hold back the truth. She looked at Jasmine, her eyes full of determination and a touch of worry. "Jasmine, I know this is a shock, but your grandmother, Queen Gloria, is the Queen of Chadesa, an ancient and mysterious kingdom, a kingdom that not many people know about. She rules there, and you, Jasmine, are the heir to the throne." Her mother's words hit Jasmine like a crashing wave, sweeping away all her thoughts. She took a step back, her heart pounding in her chest. "Queen of Chadesa? The kingdom of Chadesa? How is this possible?" Jasmine stood frozen, completely unable to comprehend what she had just heard. She was just a regular girl living in Atlanta, going to school in the afternoons, spending time with friends, and now hearing that she was the heir to some mysterious kingdom somewhere. Why has Mum never said anything about this? She wondered, feeling like the whole world had just collapsed beneath her feet. "I can't tell you too much, Jasmine," Ms. Taylor said, her voice filled with worry. "It's a secret that your father and I have kept for many years. But now, With your grandmother wanting to meet you, everything is going to change. You will have to meet her and hear what she has to share. You need to know the truth about who you are. Jasmine felt as if the world around her suddenly shifted. The memories of her ordinary life now seemed irrelevant. She's the queen of an ancient kingdom, she thought. The kingdom of Chadesa? Is this some kind of joke? But after her mother's words, Jasmine had no choice but to go to Washington, D.C. and meet her grandmother. She couldn't believe what was happening, but a part of her felt a pull, as if something stronger was urging her forward, something about herself she had never known before. When Jasmine set foot in Washington, D.C., an overwhelming sense of unease washed over her. Although the sky was clear, the air felt thick, as if a great storm was quietly waiting to erupt. Ms. Taylor, her mother, could not hide her anxiety as she led her to the gates of a grand mansion, where everything around them radiated power and luxury. The large gate with sparkling crystal lights, the entrance lined with vibrant flowers, left Jasmine feeling awestruck. As she stepped through the door, a polite butler greeted her and escorted her inside. Jasmine couldn't stop looking around, her eyes scanning the large paintings, the expensive rugs, and the shimmering chandeliers. Everything around her seemed like it belonged to a world she had never known, making her feel like an outsider. And then, as she entered the vast living room, a figure appeared, a woman standing there, glowing like a star. Queen Gloria, Jasmine's grandmother, stood before her, wearing a luxurious golden yellow gown, with her white hair neatly wrapped and deep, mysterious eyes that seemed to hold untold secrets. She was not only a woman of power, but also a symbol of strength and pride. As soon as she saw Jasmine, she raised her hand in greeting, her voice warm, yet filled with dignity. "Daughter, at last you've arrived." Jasmine stood frozen, unable to believe her eyes. Her grandmother was unlike anyone she had ever met. The grace in every gesture she made seemed to make the space around them feel strange, almost mystical. Before Jasmine could fully comprehend the strangeness, Queen Gloria gently spoke. "Jasmine, you are not an ordinary girl. You are the heir to the throne of the kingdom of Chadesa. Your father, Prince Malik, was the heir before you." Jasmine couldn't believe what she was hearing. "What? My father is Prince Malik, the throne of Chadesa?" She stood frozen, her eyes wide open, her mouth agape as if she couldn't process the words. Everything she had known about herself, about her family, now seemed to be swept away by a massive wave. She couldn't comprehend it. How could this be? She was just an ordinary girl from Atlanta. How could she possibly be connected to such a distant, mysterious kingdom? "Chadesa," Jasmine whispered, as if trying to clear away the overwhelming thoughts clouding her mind. "Yes, Chadesa," her grandmother affirmed. "You probably never heard of this kingdom, right? But now is the time you must face the truth. You are the heir, Jasmine. The throne is yours." Jasmine felt her face flush, her body drained of strength. Everything around her began to spin. "How can this be? I can't," she faltered, her voice choking in her throat. "I can't be the heir to the throne. I'm just an ordinary girl." Queen Gloria gently moved closer, her hands softly resting on Jasmine's shoulder. "You may not understand it right now, but you will, Jasmine. This is the mission you must fulfill. And you are not alone. Your mother and I will help you. But you must learn to accept this because the future of Chadesa lies in your hands." Jasmine felt a fiery warmth ignite in her heart, but at the same time, fear began to spread through her. She never imagined she would bear such a great responsibility. "I'm not strong enough. How could I lead a kingdom?" she wondered, the feeling of being overwhelmed choking her up. But Queen Gloria did not relent, her gaze unwavering. "You will learn, my daughter. You will change, and I will guide you." Refusing was difficult, but Jasmine knew that her grandmother's determination had touched a hidden part of her heart. Everything suddenly felt unclear and hard to accept, but she had no choice but to embrace this challenge. Jasmine hesitated, the words caught in her throat. I don't know if I can do this. You will, Queen Gloria said firmly, her eyes gleaming with a mysterious light, as if she had already seen something that Jasmine couldn't yet comprehend. Because you are the daughter of Prince Malik, and royal blood runs through your veins. Jasmine sat down, allowing those words to sink into her mind. She didn't know what kind of journey she was about to embark on, but one thing was certain. Her life would never be the same again. When Jasmine stepped into Chadesa, she felt as though she had entered an entirely different world. Chadesa. This kingdom was not only mesmerizingly beautiful, but also held an ancient history, full of power and mystery. Majestic castles rose like precious stones amidst the green hills, cobblestone streets lit by warm golden lights, and the air was always filled with an aura of dignity. Though before her lay a lavish scene, Jasmine's heart felt heavy. Everything here was so different, so unfamiliar. She stood in the midst of the kingdom of Chadesa, feeling like a grain of sand in an endless sea. The people here looked at her as if she were a rising star, their eyes shining with admiration and expectation. They didn't see just an ordinary girl, but the heir to the throne of this kingdom. This sensation made Jasmine dizzy. She didn't know how she could bear such a heavy responsibility. But the important thing now was that Jasmine had to learn how to become a true princess, a princess that the entire kingdom would revere. And so, Queen Gloria tirelessly hired a team of professional trainers, people who could teach her everything, from lessons on formal dancing to the proper use of various cutlery, and how to interact with others in a refined manner. Jasmine sighed, as the rigorous training sessions seemed to have no end. She remembered the nights in Atlanta, where she was simply Jasmine, unnoticed, without the immense expectations weighing on her. But here, every eye was on her. Every step she took was observed. Each time she moved on the dance floor, it felt as if everyone was watching, the hands of her instructor guiding each movement, every footstep making Jasmine feel like a puppet, each motion needing to be precise and graceful. Lift your chin, Jasmine. Don't make your body too stiff. Let every move flow, as if you're flying, her instructor reminded her. But those words were not easy to follow. With every step she took on the floor, she felt like a part of herself was slipping away. She wondered if she could truly become the person Chadesa needed. The feeling was strange. She couldn't find herself in all this grandeur. Gradually, as the days passed, Jasmine began to realize that it wasn't just the elegance and the luxury she needed to learn, but the strength and responsibility the throne brought. She couldn't just live for herself anymore. She began to understand that, though the royal rituals could be tiring, they were the foundation upon which she would build her future. She had a mission, and the kingdom was waiting for her. Yet, Jasmine could not forget the simple days back in Atlanta, the joyful conversations by the lake with Sophia, the best friend she had ever had. Sophia was not just a friend, she was the one who understood her the most. They shared wonderful moments, from walks around the city to nights spent embracing each other, talking endlessly. Jasmine missed Sophia dearly. Does Sophia understand what I'm going through? Jasmine wondered, her heart swelling with longing. We used to be just two ordinary girls, but now I'm living in a completely different world. No one in Chadesa knows about Sophia, and Jasmine felt like she had lost an important part of her life. The feeling of isolation never went away, but with each lesson, with each step she took, Jasmine realized that she was not just learning how to be a princess, but also how to face herself, to accept the responsibilities and changes she never imagined. She knew she would never return to the old Jasmine, and no matter how difficult things got, she had to learn how to live in this world as a princess of Chadesa. At a royal ball where Jasmine made her first official public appearance as a princess, no one could take their eyes off her. Jasmine had completely transformed from the shy girl who never dared step out of her comfort zone into a confident, strong, and proud woman. She was now a new symbol of the kingdom of Chadesa, a true princess, not only beautiful, but also the future leader of a powerful kingdom. Admiring gazes and attentions surrounded her, but behind the splendor, an inner battle was quietly taking place. Despite being honored, not everyone was thrilled with this change. Tina, a former friend from school in Atlanta, couldn't stop feeling uncomfortable when she saw Jasmine in the role of a princess. As a close friend from the past, Tina always knew Jasmine as a quiet, insecure girl, but now she saw Jasmine shining and full of power, which made her feel threatened. When Tina saw Jasmine enter the party, she turned to her group of friends, whispering to them with a sarcastic tone, "A princess, does she really deserve it?" She couldn't stop thinking about Jasmine's transformation and began whispering stories full of doubt. Who is she to become the Princess of Chadesa? She's just an adopted child after all. These gossiping remarks not only hurt Jasmine, but also forced her to face the reality that not everyone would accept her transformation. Even though she had prepared so much, these words still made her heart ache. Questions about her own worth, whether she truly deserved this position, began to rise in her mind. However, instead of letting Tina or anyone else shake her confidence, Jasmine decided not to back down. She looked directly at Tina, feeling neither fear nor panic, but spoke resolutely. "Your words do not define me. I don't need anyone's approval. I know I deserve this position." Jasmine understood that she couldn't change the past, but her future and her identity were in her hands. She was a princess, and she would not let anyone, whether old friends or enemies, overshadow her. The confrontation between Jasmine and Tina finally reached its climax during a grand performance in New York, where not only the biggest stars from all around the world gathered, but also where Jasmine and Marcus, the one she had always secretly loved, were participating. The atmosphere was tense, as if every eye was fixed on Jasmine, who had now become the center of attention. Everyone around, especially Tina, couldn't hide their curiosity about her remarkable transformation. Jasmine still remembered the days when she avoided crowds, the times she felt unworthy of anyone's gaze. But today, under the bright lights, she was no longer the shy girl she once was. She was a princess, and she would not allow anyone, especially Tina, to make her back down. Narrator, in a tense and emotional tone. Tonight, everything will change. Jasmine knows that this is not just a competition, but an opportunity to prove that she is not just a princess in name. She is the true leader of Chadesa, and she will not let anyone discourage her. When Jasmine saw Tina, she couldn't help but feel the tension. Tina, with her alluring and confident appearance, was whispering to a group of friends, her eyes filled with contempt as she looked at Jasmine. The gossip and criticism felt like daggers piercing Jasmine's heart. But instead of feeling weak, Jasmine felt a new strength rising within her. She glanced over at Marcus, who was still standing there, silently watching, his eyes filled with doubt about her. "Jasmine," thinking to herself, her voice firm, "no, I will not let myself be defeated. I am the Princess of Chadesa, and I will prove that I deserve this." Stepping into the crowd, Jasmine walked straight toward Tina, her eyes determined, showing no sign of fear. She stood in front of Tina, challenging her right in front of everyone. Jasmine, with a firm, powerful voice, "Tina, you can say whatever you want about me, but I will not let those words define me. Chadesa needs a strong leader, and I am that leader. You cannot change me. I will prove that I am not just a princess, but the one this kingdom needs." The atmosphere in the room grew heavy, and everyone around seemed to hold their breath, waiting for Tina's reaction. But Tina, though surprised by Jasmine's resilience, still tried to mock her, though her gaze was no longer as confident as before. Jasmine's words seemed to defeat all the doubt Tina had. Narrator, proud tone. And then, like a storm sweeping through, Jasmine not only won this confrontation, but she also won over herself, with the support of her new friends who had believed in and supported her when she was still finding herself. Jasmine proved that she was not just a beautiful princess. She was a true leader. After the intense confrontation, the gossip lost its power. People began to realize that Jasmine was not only beautiful, but also incredibly strong. And it was in this moment that Marcus, the one she secretly loved, finally realized that Jasmine was not just a princess, but a wonderful friend, someone he could truly respect. Marcus, in a low, gentle voice, "Jasmine, I didn't realize how strong you are. I think I was wrong." Jasmine, smiling with a determined look in her eyes, "Thank you, Marcus. But what's important is not your recognition, but my own. I've found my strength, and I no longer need to prove anything." Narrator, in an inspiring tone. And that night, Jasmine not only won the confrontation with Tina, but she also won over herself. She proved that a princess is not just a title, but someone who can lead, be strong, and never let anyone overshadow who she truly is. As we come to the end of Jasmine's incredible journey, I want to leave you with a powerful lesson. True strength comes from within. No matter where you come from or what challenges you face, if you believe in yourself and stand firm, you can overcome any obstacle. Jasmine has shown us that confidence, resilience, and self-belief are the keys to not only becoming a leader, but also being a true source of inspiration to those around you. For those in the African American community, our roots run deep. Our heritage is filled with strength, resilience, and a rich culture to be proud of. Stories like Jasmine's connect us to our ancestors, remind us of the struggles we've faced, and highlight the incredible victories we've achieved as a community. Our stories are not just memories, they are life lessons that continue to shape us today. So, if you feel inspired by Jasmine's journey, let's continue to spread this energy. Watch, share, and pass on these stories to your friends and family across America. Together we can preserve our history, celebrate our culture, and pass down these valuable lessons to future generations. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this story, and together we will continue to celebrate the strength and wisdom of our community. And don't forget to leave a comment below with your thoughts. How has Jasmine's journey inspired you? What lessons have you learned from this story? We look forward to hearing your voice and sharing this journey together. See you next time, and remember, you are the hero in your own story. Keep shining and reaching for greatness.